Someday he'll come along, the man I love, and he'll be big and strong, the man I love. And when he comes my way, I'll do my best to make him stay. He'll look at me and smile, I'll understand. And in a little while he'll take my hand. And so all else above, I'm waiting for the man I love.
I headed out to the highway, stuck out my thumb and headed for Chicago. I'd picked Chicago because I had just prior to that read a big article in Life magazine about how Illinois had passed the first consenting adult act in the nation. And they even mentioned in this article that it was no longer against the law to be a homosexual in Illinois. It was the only state in the Union that it wasn't against the law. Somewhere in my mind it made sense that if I was going to be one of those things, I wanted to be a legal one of those things. So I took off. I had $4 in my pocket, I had one suitcase, and I took off for Chicago.
It's my party and I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you.
June 28th, 1970. One of the most important days in the history of the American homosexuals' fight for freedom. On Saturday also, Chicago gay people were holding their demonstration. Mike Barta of Chicago Gay Liberation welcomed the crowd this way.
I want to welcome everybody here on behalf of Chicago Gay Liberation on this celebration day, part of Gay Pride Week. We're here because we're gay and we're proud that we are.
Police raids were phenomenal. One time I was at the volleyball. Now the volleyball, my recollections is right around where the Century Mall is now. The volleyball was a women's bar. And we were all in there on Friday or Saturday night, probably a Saturday night. Somebody came running in and said there were like 5 paddy wagons and a couple police cars out front. So everybody like panics, okay? Now, we know that they're going to check our clothing out as we leave the bar. You always were required to wear 3 women's articles of clothing on you. If not, you were arrested for impersonating a man.
We could not wear our wigs or dresses out in the audience. We had to put our men's clothes on, take the wig off, and had the full face on and mix with the audience. It wasn't allowed. Because they said then you were soliciting if you had a dress on and you're like a prostitute.
Back then, blacks did not live on the near north side. And the whites that lived there, you know, we understood the way the world operated, that prejudice was well and alive. And so their landlords, you know, they could actually evict them. You know, there was no protection in terms of, you know, their civil rights. They could just say, tell them I want you to move because the neighbors are complaining. You know, you're living up on whatever Elm Street or whatever, one of the chic neighborhoods, and these people are paying, you know, premium rents, and they're seeing a black person coming in suit and hat and all the things that you wore when you were going up north. And this was the way we dressed back in those days.
We had straight models, we had gay models, everything else. Most of them, I'd say a good half were hustlers or commercial boys. We found it much easier to photograph a straight guy or a hustler than it was to photograph a gay person. We published a magazine called Mars, and in that magazine we advertised in the back of it. And it was ads in the back that we advertised, movies, photos, stills, so forth. Well, at that early time, I mean, the post office moved against us for pornography, and at that time we were selling nothing but posing straps. But they said we had excessive strap delineation.
Because they was not aware of the fact that there was a black lesbian club that's been organized as long as we have been on the South Side, and we've been here all the time. We decided to do this on the South Side, and when we first started, we were the Sons of Sappho. And we started with house parties, and then we would have parties at taverns when we would pay. They would pay to come in, and we did that for a while. And then we decided that we would just step out, and we stepped out on faith. That's exactly what it was.
It was raided on March 26th of 1966, and we all went to jail who went there, who worked there. I had spent 9 hours in jail, got fingerprinted and mugged like I'd robbed a bank, and all I did was wear a dress.
We marched from Bughouse Square down Chicago Avenue to Michigan Avenue, down Michigan Avenue to Randolph Street, and Randolph Street to the City Hall. But we were allowed 1/2 of the sidewalk, not the street. We had 1/2 of the sidewalk. I was a parade marshal, and I counted the people. There were 128 people in that march, and we were all scared shitless.